like a cache of weapons that they have up under their deck.
6 hours in, the search brings more surprises.
Something started moving at first, and this dog rat, that's what the name we named it as a team, is the dog rat. It's the biggest rat I've ever seen in my life. Jumped down, landed on the floor, looked like he turned around and flipped me the bird and ran away.
And, you know, that's no lie, it really was the size of a dog.
The dog rat had to be at least 15, 20 pounds of just solid rat.
The search lasts all night, and this time, the teams are confident their case against the pirates will stick.
I think we've got enough to prosecute. I mean, we found a lot of stuff over there. I think we're going to be able to keep these guys.
Hell yeah, we got enough to prosecute. We got weapons. We got a merchant. That's a witness. Yeah.
And this time, they're right. Task Force Command orders the Gettysburg to take the pirates to port, where formal charges will be filed.
We ended up dropping the 17 suspected pirates off in Mombasa, Kenya. Kenya agreed to prosecute. This is the single largest turnover of suspected pirates at one time.
Mission accomplished. As far as I'm concerned, we got a mothership. What else do we need?
Wow. Amazing.
Hey, Jim, it looks like I'm picking up something here on the flare.
10 days after apprehending the mothership, Seahawk pilot Jamie Powers and co-pilot Justin Davis are on a routine patrol when a small blip appears on their radar.
It took like I got a small contact, about 330, about 15 miles, should be just off the nose.
We go and check everything out. Everything's worth a second look out here.
Just to see if I can get it on the flare.
The Hilo's FLIR camera picks up an image of a small boat moving at high speed about 100 miles off the Somalian coastline.
Definitely a skiff. Seeing 2 outboard motors. Looks like about 6 people on board. 7, I can't really tell yet. Skiff's about 20 feet long. Looks like it's got yellow and black stripes. That's kind of like a Tony the Tiger type skiff, doesn't it? It's a good nickname, Tony the Tiger.
This thing definitely looked like a pirate right off the bat, no doubt.
They had what looked like ladders hidden underneath some orange tarps, and they weren't waving at us, which that's always our biggest indication. All the fishermen, all the guys who are friendly, they all wave at us. They love seeing us out there. Pirates, on the other hand, hate seeing us out there.
Yeah, like these guys are headquartered in the IRTC. Yeah, they're about 10 miles away from the transit corridor right now.
The IRTC is the internationally recommended transit corridor, a major shipping lane near Somalia that has become known as Pirate Alley.
So for a skiff that size, that small, to be that far out and be that close to the transit corridor there, that's pretty suspicious in and of itself.
That's KTO. Looks like we proceed towards the IRTC. They certainly look like pirates. We just made a low pass. Saw a couple of look like ladders covered up by some tarps. Based on what we're seeing, I'd recommend we interdict. They definitely fit the description of pirates.
I know that I'm going to be the boarding officer on this, so I was on the bridge, fully dressed out, just waiting for us to stop the skiff so we could start the boarding. That turned out to be a lot more challenging than it normally is.
What transpired after that was a little bit of a cat and mouse game. We hovered in front of it, flew circles around it, pointed our weapons right at them, trying to get them to stop.
Hey, Cat, looks like these guys just put their other outboard in the water and starting to pick up speed, changing course now to heading south. Yeah, it looks like they're making a run for the Somali coastline at this point.
Moments later, the Gettysburg joins the pursuit with its siren blaring.
Everybody in the world knows the sound of a police siren, and that's our first indication to get the vessel to stop.
Let's go ahead and sound 6 short flaps for the ship's whistle.
Despite the warnings, the skiff suddenly makes an aggressive move.
The skiff had turned very sharply toward the ship, and one of the individuals had been bobbing their head up and down, and when he came up the last time, he had an RPG in his hand, and I think that he had intentions of shooting that RPG at Gettysburg, which would have been a fatal mistake for him.
But the pirates quickly smarten up and decide to run rather than face the warship's firepower.
474, Captain. You have permission to conduct warning shots across the bow.
Copy that. Warning shots authorized. Hey, lawyer, we just got permission to put a couple across the bow there. Make sure we're all set. Make sure Betsy's ready to rock and roll. Lock and load. Fire on ready. warning shots. Going around for a second pass. Good. Nice job. Captain, looking at any effect on them, so we'll come around here and put a couple more close to them. Alright, Lloyd. Mission graded. Fire one ready.
And each time they slowed down, and as soon as the fire stopped, they kept going. This told me that these were pretty serious pirates. They knew, what our tactics were, willing to take a chance that we weren't going to shoot them.
The pirates risk the warning shots, believing that the Navy will not use deadly force to stop them. If they reach the Somali territorial waters, the Navy will be required to call off the pursuit.
She just kept running. I knew that, okay, that's not going to work. We're going to have to do something else different.
Coming up,
Let's go ahead and come up to 30 knots. Right full rudder.
the captain attempts a never-before-seen tactic to end the chase.
I'm sure that they were sitting there going, what are these crazy Americans doing?
Under a hail of 50 caliber gunfire, a fast-moving skiff full of pirates is racing away from the USS Gettysburg in the Gulf of Aden. It's headed for the Somali coastline.
Right now, we've just fired 3 sets of warning shots from Cutlass 474, 3 bursts each. The skiff is determined it's not even slowing down.
They're running towards land. We need to stop them before they get to land, because once they're on the soil, we can't really do anything about it. We couldn't let that happen.
Knowing the pirates can reach land within the hour, Captain Brown devises a plan on the spot, one that's never been tried before.
Come up to 30 knots. Right full rudder.
Captain Brown's plan is to use the Gettysburg's superior speed and massive size to circle the skiff. This maneuver will create wakes up to 10 feet high, which would swamp the engines and stop the pirates dead in their tracks.
If anybody's ever been in a small boat and the seas are rough out there, you know that you can't go fast in those seas. 10,000 tons puts out an incredible amount of weight, and I cut across them. I'm sure that they were sitting there going, what are these crazy Americans doing?
Captain Brown's quick thinking even catches his chopper crew off guard.
What the hell are they doing, dude? Look at them. They're throwing it over to port like crazy, coming to starboard.
When they hit that first wave, they were surprised because that skiff came up out of the water and back down. That's what swamped out their starboard engine. Okay, they've already lost an engine. You can see them pulling it out of the water.
Hey, sir, whatever you're doing down there definitely seems to be working. I don't think we'll be able to maneuver on these high waves.
I definitely never seen a maneuver like that executed. It was awesome to see from the sky in terms of a little 30, 40-foot skiff just going way up and down in the water. I mean, like crazy, just taking water all over. The guys on board hanging on for dear life.
It's pretty much like the Indians circling the wagons. There was just no place for them to go. They just got stuck in the middle of this violent wave action that was happening around them. And then finally their port engine gave out and they were done.
Right, Cap, looks like they just threw a couple ladders overboard. Their second outboard is now out of the water. They are DIW. Say again, they are DIW.
After a long wait, it's time for the counter-piracy teams to get into the action.
The captain did see one weapon on board. He said pretty sure he saw a rocket-propelled grenade. So we have to assume these guys do have weapons, so be careful.
The feeling was pretty tense. We're going to shoot at anybody who tries to mess with us, and these guys were just hauling ass, not stopping. If anything was going to happen, it's going to be this boat right here.
As I approached the skiff, I was excited because it had been a pretty thrilling chase that we'd done, but at the same time, I was very wary. These pirates had been much more aggressive than any of the pirates we'd seen before. We knew they had weapons. We had seen one in the rib. That we had fired at them, and they still hadn't stopped. So we knew that they weren't scared of us.
We're going out, and we're just like, listen, dude, have your thumb on the safety, get ready to switch it and go if anything happens.
But with their engines stalled and the boarding team staring them down, the armed pirates simply give up.
9mm, 2 AK Max. Yes, miscellaneous ammo.
We arrested, it ended up being 7 individuals. We took their skiff alongside and we took everything off the skiff, and they had actually hidden weapons up in the fuel barrels. They had satellite cell phones, GPS. It was clear that these were professional Somali pirates who had successfully pirated merchant ships in the past.
And it was Captain Brown's quick thinking to get that maneuver in place. that really got those Somali Pirates to stop. Without a doubt, it should be named after Captain Brown because he was the one that developed it right there. The Brown Cyclone, I don't know.
That definitely fits his personality. I mean, he's definitely a bit of a maverick, but that's good, you know? It's good to have a captain out here that kind of likes to try new things and not always be by the book. Our favorite line for him is, "I'm Rich Brown, bitch."
On the Gettysburg's last day in the Gulf of Aden, commanding officers lead a crew medal ceremony before turning the warship toward home.
With unparalleled leadership and aggressive training, they led a wildly successful counter-piracy deployment in the Gulf of Aden and Horn of Africa. Cool under pressure, they brilliantly led their team to capture 6 suspected pirate vessels, the first pirate mothership, and over $1 million in pirating equipment, and the apprehension of 38 suspected pirates.
Just such a rewarding factor to know that we were able to serve our country, we were able to serve the other nations out there and the mercenaries out there that are doing their job trading throughout the world.
You look at all those guys, and without every single one of them, we would not have been able to do what we did in the Gulf of Aden.